I sold in those period of time. That was the peak of our market. I sold almost 24 out of the 26, 27 LLCs at the peak.
Right before the crash.
Right before the crash.
You timed it.
Timed it. Not because I'm an econ major.
You saw it coming.
I saw it coming. I saw it coming.
Your gut told you something, like the fundamentals were out of whack.
I have a good eye for real estate. I tell you when I knew it was bad. When obviously there was a lot of people like in California buying homes here. You know, they had the NIQ program, you know, non-income qualifying.
Yeah.
So you put 20% down and you go on out. People didn't care when they had, you know, and then so I can tell you when I saw it coming is when you had let's say, nothing against the janitor.
You had all the second mortgages.
No, when you had somebody making $35,000 a year.
Yeah.
And they're qualifying for a $700,000 house.
Yeah, there you go.
I think what you're going to say is like you have a janitor, but you would have it on the application. They'd say, you know, custodial engineer.
Yes,
you know,
custodial engineering.
Yeah.
You know, so
there was no financial verification of income or anything.
There was no. It was an NIQ. It was no non-income qualifying.
Yeah.
I mean, and then so I saw it coming that and then what happened is a lot of developers got greedy. Mm-hmm. So people are always trying to squeeze a quarter out of a nickel. To me, hey, if you buy it for $1 and then you sell it, you make a little bit of money, you leave some meat on the bones, let the next guy make some money, life is good.
But here's the thing, like you mentioned luck. We're talking about gut. I think we've been in this industry long enough, so when you get into this industry, it's like going to the gym and you do curls and your biceps get strong. Your gut instinct, you're building it. It's the repetition, you know, over and over again of going through the experience of seeing a deal or experiencing a market. There's no fast shortcut in what we do. You could get into residential and go work in a office where people are doing wholesale deals and make $5,000-$10,000, you know, assignment fees and have zero experience. It doesn't take the same level of dedication and grit and grind and experience, because here's the thing. I believe it's not luck, and we have a gut instinct that we've built.
It's a gut feeling.
But we also know, and I won't, like when the fundamentals get out of whack, and this is where I just had this conversation with Brennan, the more transactions that we get into and start closing, and I look at our pro forma and I see, shoot, we're outperforming our pro forma. It just builds a level of confidence in every next deal that we do, that we are that much more prepared than most of our counterparts because of the level of pre-due diligence, the level of due diligence, the pro forma that we put together, the level of sophistication and detail that we put into it. And if you want to see our pro formas, make sure you go sign up for our newsletter, because we're putting out spreadsheets that you guys can take a look at. So that's a little shameless plug. But you have to go through the process. Like I said, there's no shortcut, right? And so, like, to go back to what you're talking about, like when these markets come, it's those guys that know how to, guys and gals that know how to shift on the fly, right? So we had 5 years ago, 20, coming out of COVID, all of a sudden pad prices start going up $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.5 million, like for an acre. It's getting out of whack. And so there was a period of time.
There's no money to make anymore.
Well, there's guys that are like, oh, we're going to get a ground lease at $150,000. And then you're like, okay, you better get that ground lease and get it sold on the investment market and let someone else be left holding the bag. And it took a period of time, but we're starting to see sellers come back down to earth.
Definitely prices are coming down. There's people that are sticking in the business. They're seeing more. I'm getting more calls that people are, but
tenants are holding firm.
They're holding firm,
saying, "Look,
there's deals getting done, but they don't want to pay the price."
We know where the max threshold is for, say, Chipotle or Starbucks. They're like, we can't pay more than this. Got you.
Yeah.
They know they'll make their whatever $3 million in average unit sales at this location. I even ask those questions now. What do you think the store sales will be here? And I can adjust my rent based on knowing that. But that's only something you can learn working underneath somebody in the industry. And I think there's a unique thing that you and I share here. We worked on the brokerage side and then got into the investment and development side. And that's kind of the natural progression that I see. Guys work as brokers, and you're talking about you can only be a slave to a commission for so long.
Yeah, it's unless you, like I said, unless you cover lots. I used to rep about 28 national tenants.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I was running all over the country.
Yeah, give me some names. Tell the camera right there.
Well,
right
you're
here.
taking me back.
Tell
now.
these guys.
20, 15
look
years.
right here. Tell them what tenants did you rep?
I've done a lot of
validate.
I've done a lot of in and out deals back in the day. I've done Del Tacos, McDonald's, Safeways. I've done 3 Safeways, back when she's not around anymore. God bless her soul. But her name is Mary Smith.
I remember.
And then, and then
EGs.
I did the EGs in town, and then did a lot of gas stations.
Yeah.
And then rep a lot of gas stations.
You ever do any Maverick deals? You did some Circle Ks?
No, never did Maverick deal.
Circle K?
Did one Circle K, did a lot of Arcos back, and then this is how old I am.
AM, PM.
And the AM, PM, it's a hot dog, 99 cents.
Yeah.
So,
who was your favorite tenant? Like everyone saw it, like I have all honesty. I've never done a Chick-fil-A deal.
I've never done one, and I'm pretty sure that I know they're Cameron does their work.
Well, of course, and
he's a great guy.
We've been trying, and I want to
do.
We came super close to doing a Portillo's deal, like so freaking close. It's weird how you go through market cycles, and you're like, you have that one tenant that you want to do a deal. Like I know Phil was working with the guy. He's got a buddy. I can't think of his name, but who was the real estate director for Canes.
Yep.
They mapped the whole market, and they came this close to getting the Canes deal or tenant rep deal. And so Canes has been on our list, but they're harder deals to do, especially in a market like ours where they have so many. But who's one of those tenants?
Some of my favorite I can tell you is that yes. No, I had a great time.
They're moving their headquarters to
Tennessee, to Franklin. So I knew that. So they had a great gentleman that used to run in and out, and then he was amazing, but he's no longer there. My relationship ended about 14 years ago, and then but we did a few stores and then all
once
that.
you've done one, it's easy to get another
but I can tell you the tenants that I've always admired and I love working for them, and I've done a few bank deals, are the banks.
Yeah.
So because once they decide they got to open a branch, they got to open a branch.
Yeah.
They're public companies, they're regulated and all that. So it was fun to do some of their work. And then I've done Wells deals, National Bank of Arizona deals. I've done just a few different.
That's what you said. You built those banking
big relationship over the years,
so
and then
working up with the higher ups makes it easier to do the real estate.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to relationships.
Yeah. So and they're simple, and they're credit tenants.
Yeah.
So when they put their name on an LOI,
1031 buyer likes buying a bank.
They love, and you remember banks when they first started on the investment side, the triple net stuff, they were the best investments. If it was a Chase or a Bank of America, they were selling down to like a 3.5 cap, or some of them 3 caps, like the McDonald's. Now it's everything is around 5.5. I tell you where the opportunity is, honestly, and a lot of people ask me about that, is the coffee guys. There's too many coffee concepts out there. It scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know how you can go out and do some ground leases and pay that kind of rent, and then when you've got coffee every other block.
I think they're doing a good job. This is my personal opinion. I think they're doing a good job of evolving their concept. So if you really break down their concept, like Dutch Bros, for example, literally coffee is only 30% of their sales, like Dutch Bros and BlackRock, because they've added the energy drinks and these.
Well, it's all energy. It's all sugar. At the end of the day, it's all sugar.
Well,
that's how they hooked up all the millennials.
There's also a shift, because I just saw recently, I think Starbucks, they're on a downward trend, right, with revenues, and I think there's something to be said about the diversity as far as you have your Dutch Bros, you have other coffee that's out there, and people like that variety. And so if you can find your place with good quality and a niche,
When they've
right?
shrunk their building footprint, like you've seen more kiosks like Scooters, 7 Brew,
Yes.
Better Buzz, like some of these guys.
Smaller the better.
Yeah, and then even this whole new there's a whole new industry category that's come out of the coffee with the dirty sodas, with Swig.
Yeah.
Like Swig is blowing up here in Arizona. We're working with a group out of Utah that has the rights to North Carolina and South Carolina to do 40 locations over the next 5 years.
Yep.
And so that whole category alone, and when you take the building footprint and shrink it so you lower your overhead costs,
Yep.
I think that's how they're kind of surviving in the industry. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, want to catch the entire episode of this Rent Stew podcast, click right here. If you're loving the Rent Stew podcast and you want to see more episodes, click right here. And as always, stay hungry, my friends.